This week is going to be huge for Bitcoin and the traditional stock market as the FOMC meeting is this Wednesday, and it will, without a doubt, have ripples across the entire market. We're going to talk about that in this video. Plus, towards the end, I'm going to be putting a Kaspa 10x leverage play live on air. So if you want to see how I do that and why I'm doing that, stay towards the end of the video. But before we get started, welcome back to the channel. My name's Doc. Throughout the day, I'm a resident physician, and at night, I take you guys on my crypto and investing journey. This is the second time I've filmed this video because we were having some audio issues. But you know what? That happens from time to time. Huge week upcoming for Bitcoin. A very, very big FOMC meeting on Wednesday. We're going to talk about more about that in just a second, but let's take a look at Bitcoin first. This is the 4-hour candle, or 4-hour chart rather. A very interesting candle here, about 1,000 or 2 move, and that's because of some tweets that have gone out recently. We're gonna talk more about that, but kind of been a tough past couple days or weekend for Bitcoin, and this is not unsurprising to us, right? We know that weekends typically have lower volume, and because of that, we can sometimes see some lulls in the market. That, though, is not the main reason why I think we're seeing some unsteadiness here with Bitcoin, this little bit of a downturn. And that's because on Wednesday, we have that FOMC meeting, and the market tends to get a little skittish as FOMC nears. So right now, the good thing is we are sitting above the bull market support band, and we're going to be kind of flirting between two different moving averages here, right? So we have the bull market support band on the bottom, and then above this white line, that's the 50-day moving average. And I suspect, based on how some of this economic data plays out this week, one of two things are going to happen. We're either going to come up and retest this 50-day moving average, or if the data is maybe not so good, we may come down to retest the bull market support band, right? And it really depends how the data plays out, right? And we're going to talk more about that data here in just a sec, because there's some big things dropping this week. Also, as you're coming in, if you're getting any value out of this, consider hitting the like button, commenting down below. Where do you guys think? Where's Bitcoin going? And if you're part of the Kaspa army, let me know how big you think this Kaspa upgrade is. We're going to talk about that some more too. So that's kind of where we're at with Bitcoin. I did want to take a quick look at Bitcoin dominance because it's been doing some really interesting things as of late here. So you can see here on the 4-hour chart, it's below its 50-day moving average, but it's still really high, right? We're still at 64.73%. And I really do think it's just a matter of time before we hit 65 and even 66% Bitcoin dominance. I think this is a little bit easier to view if we change this to the weekly and we kind of spread it out, and you can just see the Bitcoin dominance chart. This is not something that you wanted to bet against, right? And for those who don't know, Bitcoin dominance, this is just how much does Bitcoin make up of the entire crypto market. So roughly 2/3 of the entire crypto market is in Bitcoin, right? If we take a look at the crypto bubbles, this is a daily view here, kind of a mixed bag, probably more red than green. If we take a look here at the weekly, virtuals has just been flying up almost 50% on the week. Pretty interesting there. We also have Layer, Quant. I know there's a lot of Quant folks in the Discord, which free Discord down below. Link is going to be down below. More on that later. So we kind of got an interesting thing going on here and a big week ahead. But before we can talk about this week, and I promise I'm going to get to it, let's just really quick talk about what happened last week. So the GDP for Q1 came back negative, right? And that's not a surprise. We've been talking about that in the Discord, and I've been mentioning it in a ton of my previous videos. We knew it was going to come back negative. The reason that that's bad is because the classical definition of a recession is when you get 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. Well, guess what? We're 50% there. We're halfway there. And Q2 really isn't looking all that great with a lot of the tariffs and Liberation Day, because we're going to start feeling some of that pain. So Purdy, he's saying that, okay, GDP came in negative, not good. Well, on Friday, we actually got some not great jobs data as well. The other thing is inflation data is coming, right? So right now, inflation's not bad, but all of the inflation data that we've been looking at, the metrics that we use to measure inflation, that looks in the rearview mirror, right? So the upcoming inflation data that we'll be getting next month, or later this month rather, that is going to capture post-Liberation Day, i.e. the tariffs, and tariffs are expected to be inflationary. So that's tough, right? That kind of puts us in this stagflation environment where inflation's high, the economy's doing bad, and that's not great. So, okay, I tweeted this out not too long ago. It says huge week for both Bitcoin and stocks as we're getting a ton of economic data, right? So on Monday, we're getting some global services PMI data. And then also on Monday, we're getting some manufacturing PMI data. This is going to be interesting to see with all the tariffs that have gone into place. I'm going to make an update video on this. So if you guys want fast, reliable information that's easy to digest, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on noties so you can get up-to-date info on that. Wednesday's the big one though, guys. That's going to be FOMC meeting. And that's big because we're going to get the Fed interest rate cut decision. And probably more importantly, we're going to get the Fed press conference. That's really, really important because we're going to be listening. This is on Wednesday. We're going to be listening if Fed Chair Powell has a bullish or bearish tone, right? It's likely we're not getting rate cuts, but it will be interesting to see if he hints at quantitative tightening or if he tips his hand as to how many rate cuts we may be getting this year. Thursday, we're getting some initial jobless claims data. That's going to be big. And then roughly a fifth of the S&P is going to be reporting earnings, with the most notable being Coinbase on Thursday. Okay, we said highly unlikely that we get rate cuts in May, i.e. on Wednesday. The Fed Watch tool is showing that there's a 96% chance that we get no rate cuts in May. Again, that's not a surprise. We've been kind of harping on that for a while, but this becomes more interesting when we look at the aggregated data. Do not get confused by this. This is not confusing. I'm going to break it down really simply for you. This is where we are right here, 4.25 to 4.5%. There's a 96% chance that we stay there for the May FOMC meeting, which is on Wednesday. If we scroll down, this is the June 18th meeting. There's a 63% chance that we stay here, but there's almost a 37% chance that we get a quarter of a rate cut in June. Now, if we don't get it, no need to worry, because the end of July, July 30th, there's a 95% chance that we have at least one rate cut. So don't expect rate cuts this week on Wednesday at the FOMC meeting. More importantly, the press conference is going to be Jerome Powell speaking on QT and what his thoughts are for the market moving forward. I suspect, I'm going to kind of give you my 2 cents on this because we're 10 minutes into the video. My sense on this, he's going to say, hey, we got to watch and wait. There's a ton of uncertainty. We don't have data from inflation since the tariffs have been put into place. So it's going to be a wait and see thing. So don't let that catch you off guard. Tyler Hill with an awesome, awesome tweet. I couldn't have said it any better myself. If you're not following him on Twitter and YouTube, would highly recommend. He's saying, hey guys, we got to be cautious heading into this week. And that's because Bitcoin is forming an ascending channel, but the price is showing weakness in addition to other indicators, right? This usually suggests a breakdown in structure could be coming, potentially pulling Bitcoin back into the low 90s. Now, guys, we just said that's not unsurprising because we were just talking about the bull market support band and how we are likely going to either come back down and retest the bull market support band here, which is at 91,000, or we'll go up to the 50-day moving average. Now, personally, I think we may come back and retest this bull market support band, right? Right now, stock futures for later this morning show some negative, some opening slightly negative. So just put that on your radar. Okay, so this was also really interesting. Trump saying, this just came out tonight. He's saying President Trump, Watcher Guru is saying President Trump wants to make a fair trade deal with China. And obviously I responded to this. I said, hey, this is going to be interesting to see if anything materializes out of this or if it's just more talk. Because I feel like we get a lot of these, hey, just in or breaking news. The irony of this, Watcher Guru posted this at 7:48. A couple hours before they posted this. Just in, President Trump announces 100% tariffs on all movies imported into the US. In a lot of ways, messages like this kind of muddy the water, because on one hand, we're saying, hey, new tariffs, right? And in this case, it's on movies. But on the other hand, we're saying, hey, we want to make these fair trade deals. And the market sometimes has difficulty interpreting that, and it creates uncertainty. Markets don't like uncertainty, and because of that, it can show some weakness. Down below is our free Discord, totally free. We have nothing to sell you, building an awesome community. So if that's something that you guys want to be part of, if you want to navigate these crazy crypto times with a rock solid community, join. Link is going to be down below. I also do exclusive live streams for the Discord. We really do. I say this with like 100% honesty. I think we have one of the best Discord communities on YouTube. It is so underrated. Check it out down below. Also, Michael Saylor, he's posting, hey, too much blue, not enough orange. And what this means is he's going to be announcing tomorrow morning that MicroStrategy, i.e. Strategy, bought more Bitcoin, which is awesome, right? We're seeing a lot of really big buys over here. And the interesting thing is, at their most recent earnings call, MicroStrategy, they said that they want to spend $84 billion on Bitcoin buys, and they have a ton of dry powder to do it. I think they have close to $60 billion that they're going to earn in convertible notes to buy more Bitcoin. So Michael Saylor continues to be ultra bullish on Bitcoin. Also happening tomorrow, this is huge. The Crescendo update for Kaspa is going live at around 1500 UTC. So 3 p.m. UTC. The official rollout of 10 blocks per second for Kaspa is going to be going out. This is huge. This is honestly a really big upgrade, hard fork upgrade for Kaspa. And I just talked about this in my Kaspa video that I did 2 days ago. So if you want some more info on that, check that video out. But this is going to be really big. I do think this is going to help differentiate Kaspa to the next level. Now, Kaspa, I'm actually going to put a 10x leverage play on Kaspa right now as we speak, because I put my money where my mouth is. So we're looking at Kaspa on BTCC here. Right now, we're looking at the Bollinger Bands on the 4-hour chart. So I like that the Kaspa price is near the bottom part of the Bollinger Bands. So what we'll do here is we'll come to leverage. You can go up to 50x on Kaspa. I'm just going to put 10x because I don't want to get liquidated. So 10x, if the price were to go down 10%, I would get liquidated, right? So I hit confirm, and then I like to change this to USDT. And then I will put in the price with the understanding that this price is going to be with the 10x. So for example, if I put $500 here and then I hit open long, it's going to be roughly $50, right? And that's what it shows, right? $49. So $49 times roughly a 10x gives me $500. If you want to put leverage plays in, my BTCC link is going to be down below. You can get 10% bonuses on first-time deposits. This is a no KYC, no VPN platform. And what that really means is you don't have to give them your personal information. You can also do up to 500x leverage on Bitcoin. I wouldn't recommend that because I don't want you guys to get liquidated. But this is an awesome platform. They've been around for over 12 years. I use them all the time. They are also a partner of the channel. So if you use that link, it helps me out. Also down below is going to be my website, InvestWithDoc, if you want to learn a little bit more about me. I'm curious, where do you guys think Bitcoin is going, right? We got FOMC data coming out. Honestly, I think we're going to be range bound in the 90s for a while, but I don't have a crystal ball, right? Anybody who tells you they know exactly what's going to happen, I would be weary, right? This isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do think Bitcoin is going to kind of range in that 90s, depending on how the FOMC goes, right? If we get a dovish FOMC, a dovish Jerome Powell, someone was saying in the Discord, we're only 15% off a new all-time high. We could fly through that in no time if we get a really good FOMC meeting. So I read all of the comments. Let me know down below what do you think is going to happen. Hit the like button. Consider subscribing because it's free and I'm asking nice. And I'll see you guys on my next video.